Mateta won the header from Elise's initial cross. The offside flag belatedly raised, however, so no harm done for Disasi or Petrovic. Badiashile looks to get things back underway for Chelsea, but Mudryk's beaten to that by Nathaniel Klein, but he can't find it. Palace shirt. Mateta losing out to Badiashile. Calmly played out across the 18-yard box by Chelsea as Caicedo's bundled over by Mateta. Mauricio Pochettino watching on intensely from the sideline. Arms folded, fixed on the action in front of him. Great little touch there by Levi Colwill, just through the legs of Michael Elise. And he goes on here. Colwill, he's covered a lot of ground as he's fed that across to Christopher Nkunku on the edge of the Palace box, but Chris Richards sticks with him. Good tackle. Gusto will pick up the loose ball. Now Caicedo, Gallagher. Maybe a little reminder from Colwill to Elise there to say, anything you can do, I can do. Found himself changing positions since his return to Chelsea. Centre-back by trade, of course, but he's got himself a new home at left-back, albeit temporarily for Pochettino. Now here's Gallagher down the Chelsea right, looking to make something happen for the Blues. Forced backwards to Caicedo. It was a wayward pass. He was trying to roll that into the feet of Nicholas Jackson on the edge of the Palace box, but visitors get it clear, and Mateta wanted a foul there against Badiashile. Referee says no. Chelsea will play on. Mateta told to get back to his feet by Michael Salisbury. Chelsea back in possession here with Disasi over on the far right hand side. Imagine Mauricio Pochettino will be pretty content with what he's seen so far. Chelsea unbeaten in the last 3 home Premier League games. Here's Mudryk bursting into the box. Mudryk with a chance, saved by Henderson. Quick as a flash again, Mudryk causing problems for Chelsea, or Palace I should say. Slow to read that as Chelsea just built up possession in and around the edge of the box. Quick 1-2. Caicedo with the ball into Jackson. Nice flick from Jackson and Mudryk was in. Henderson smartly off his line, makes the block. Keeps Mudryk at bay for now. Just looking at back of those numbers for Chelsea, so unbeaten in the last 3 Premier League home games. Wins over Brighton and Sheffield United back to back. And if they were to secure 3 points tonight, that would be a first triple for Pochettino as Chelsea boss in the Premier League. But a long way to go. Just 23 minutes on the clock here. 1-0 to Chelsea. The long ball played downfield by Anderson for Ayew, but it bounces out for a Chelsea throw-in over in the Blues right back spot. As you'd expect, Roy Hodgson looking slightly pensive based on the opening stages here at Stamford Bridge. He knows he is under pressure and that there could be a potential change at the top if results don't improve, I should say. Plenty of experience, Hodgson, though. He said he's not feeling the pressure. He's even questioned the existence of pressure, but results do not look favourable. 3 Premier League draws in the last 6. And the most worrying statistic of all, just 1 Premier League win in their last 11 for Crystal Palace. Chelsea work that all the way back to Petrovic, and he looks to find Jackson with the long ball forward, but it's belatedly dealt with by Jacob Anderson. He felt he was fouled there, but again, Michael Salisbury, I should say, waving away the protests. Goal scoring action at Brentford has calmed down ever so slightly, but it's still 2-1 to Wolves just up the road at the GTEC Community Stadium. Chelsea come again. Here's Nkunku just looking to get on the ball in that number 10 role. Number 18 on his back. Firmly a number 10 in this system tonight. Here he is now. Just trying to slide that one in for the running behind for Jackson. Jackson has a chance here as he goes in on the left-hand side. Jackson drags it well wide at Dean Henderson's post. That was a big chance. Palace defenders seem to stop, waiting for the offside flag to go up. Jackson didn't wait around. Goals haven't been flowing for him in recent weeks. Senegalese international, just one Premier League goal in his last 6. But he is still their top Premier League scorer so far this season. 7, which is 1 less than the number of Premier League yellow cards he's picked up. Cole Palmer and Raheem Sterling, the big misses in that Chelsea attack this evening. They're the second and third highest scorers. 6 for Palmer, 5 for Sterling. But Mykhailo Mudryk is off the mark this evening. Christopher Nkunku with his first Chelsea goal on Christmas Eve, so not a bad pair of replacements. Here comes Palace down the left. It's Ayew looking to get away from Gusto. Strong challenge from the Chelsea right back, fed back to Tyreek Mitchell, who'll curl that one in, headed away by Disasi, and then helped further downfield by Gallagher. Jackson will win that battle with Anderson, and he's all alone here now in the Crystal Palace half. Jackson, he needs support, gets away from Anderson. Can he find the pass in here to Christopher Nkunku? Brilliant tackle from Mark Gay. Gets across, makes the block. Crystal Palace skipper likely saved a second goal. Christopher Nkunku is feeling the force of that one, but it was a brilliant recovery from the England international. Showed the pace to get back in position and cover for Joachim Anderson. Just as Nkunku was preparing to pull the trigger. Although, we've just been shown a replay here, and it may have been an error from Nkunku. Mark Gay does get across and put him off, but it looks as if it was a complete air shot in the end from Christopher Nkunku. He's lined himself up to just steer that one past Henderson. Gay gets across, does make life difficult for him, but it's actually swing and a miss from Christopher Nkunku. Palace breathe again, but possession easily turned over, and Chelsea are back on the march again. Mudryk trying to feed that one into Nkunku. Loses out to Mitchell. Ayew will just try and protect that ball and advance Palace up the pitch. He's done well to get away from Gusto, but he's tracked by Caicedo. Great scrap in there by Ayew to keep possession. Caicedo was all over him, but he managed to keep the ball. And Anderson will go long again, looking for Elise. Flag is up. He just gone a little bit too early, stepping away from Levi Colwill. Chelsea back in possession. Played across the back line over to Gusto now. Maatsen back to Gusto, looking to race over the halfway line. That'll be a big confidence boost for him, an assist for Mudryk. Chelsea happy to just play a little bit of keep ball now for a few minutes, you'd imagine, as we tick towards the half-hour mark at Stamford Bridge. They've got their goal, they've got their advantage. Sloppy from Disasi there. He was tracked by Eze, and Eze got a foot in, but he's won it back. Mateta will ride into his rescue and get Palace back on the front foot. Mateta gets away from Caicedo and away from Badiashile into the Chelsea box onto Eze, blocked by Gallagher. Anywhere will do for Malo Gusto as he clears it over to the far side, and Gallagher will try and complete the job, but Jordan Ayew won't let him rest. And that'll be a free kick against Gallagher. Tried his best to get there first against Ayew, but he's caught him. That'll be a free kick to Palace. Ayew just asking for a moment or two to get himself back onto his feet. It's a heavy challenge from Gallagher. Ayew looks okay to continue. And it'll be Ebereze to take this for Palace over on the left-hand side. Swing it in right. Gay, Richards, Mateta all forward for Palace. Eze to take. Deep towards the back post. That's won by Colwill. Helped on its way by Gallagher, but he'll be challenged by Anderson over by the corner flag. Gallagher does his job eventually. Turned into a nice ball into Jackson eventually, and Mudryk's got the pace on Nathaniel Klein, but Mitchell gets back across. Tracks him all the way. That'll be a corner to Chelsea, first one of the evening. Good pace there by Tyrick Mitchell. Realised that Nathaniel Klein was in trouble up against Mudryk. Stuck to his task. Concedes the corner, but it was needed. We've got ourselves another goal at the G-Tech Community Stadium. It's now 3-0 to Wolves. Hwang Hee-chan with his second of the night. As Conor Gallagher prepares to take this one for Chelsea. That one into the near post, but it's cleared away by Jordan Ayew. We're throwing to Chelsea deep inside the Crystal Palace half. Colwill forward from left back to take this one for the Blues. Tries to find Nkunku. His little chip over the head for Klein didn't work out, and Palace will clear up to Mateta. Conor Gallagher gets a foot in, but Klein will go again to Mateta. He'll get there before Colwill. A free kick given against the Crystal Palace striker though. Chelsea looking to get things back underway quickly. They're not messing around. They know that if they can get a second goal before half-time, that would put them in a very dominant position against the Palace team, struggling for confidence, not just here at Stamford Bridge, but in general. No Premier League win in 7 for Roy Hodgson, and just 1 Premier League victory in their last 11 games. We have another free kick for another little tussle in the middle of the park. Michael Salisbury not happy with the position of the ball inside the Chelsea half of the centre circle. Asks Axel Disasi just to go back a little. Caicedo will get the ball rolling again. 33 minutes gone on Flash Score UK. Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 0. Mykhailo Mudryk's 3rd Premier League goal of the season separates the two teams as it stands. Mudryk, one of those 5 starting changes for Mauricio Pochettino. 2-1 defeat away at Wolves on Christmas Eve. And that was a half chance for the Blues as they broke forward there. Came to Ian Matson quickly on the edge of the box from Malo Gusto. Couldn't really curl it back round and give Dean Henderson a problem, but it's an opportunity. Crystal Palace have conceded a corner. Last little touch came off one of the visitors. Mudryk to take this from the left hand side, curled in, headed away by Mateta, only as far as Gallagher. He'll go back out to Mudryk on the Chelsea left. Fed into the box, but cleared away by Joachim Andersen. Gallagher there again to win the second ball, but Mateta beats Badiashile. Gallagher, so busy in that Blues engine room so far. Nips in again. Just keeps possession for the home team. Now it's Caicedo, back to Gallagher, who a little bit fortunate there as he tried to step away from Lerma, and he loses out to Mateta eventually. Mateta just slips that one to the left to Eze. Eze trying to work an angle infield for Crystal Palace, but they've advanced down the left hand side. Ayew, Mitchell, Maatsen and Gusto just doubling up on the two Palace left hand side players, trying to force them back, which they do. All the way back eventually to Henderson, and now Joachim Andersen. Mitchell almost caught there by Maatsen, playing with fire slightly, wanted the quick ball in field to Mark Gay, got caught under his feet, but he just got there before Chelsea wing back. As Petrovic is called into action for the home team, quickly out of his box to smash that one downfield. No problem conceding a throw in that situation. Good hold-up play there from Mateta from the Palace throw. Just making sure that the visitors remain camped on the edge of the Chelsea box for a moment or two. Klein, Elise, Lerma. Flag is up against Jefferson Lerma. Frustrating that for Palace. Mateta did all the hard work in making sure that they had the ball where they wanted it. Lerma just a little bit too slow to get himself back onside. Roy Hodgson and his experienced number 2 Ray Lewington deep in conversation. Wouldn't be too sure there'll be changes at half time. Roy Hodgson is keen on keeping faith with his players, but he knows they need to do something if they want to pick up either a draw or what would be a fairly shock win here at Stamford Bridge. As Colwell just feeds that one on down the line to Mudryk. He loses out to Klein. Elise just nipped in field to Jefferson Lerma. That's a nice switch over to the left hand side, but Ayew's first touch was heavy, and Chelsea will see that back to Petrovic. Now Caicedo looks to get the Blues moving forward quickly. On the right hand side, Maatsen, Gusto. Maatsen loses out to Ayew, and Palace have a chance to break here if Eze can get a pass off quickly. She's prevented from doing so. Mitchell just checks back inside for Palace and finds the captain Mark Gay. Now Andersen to play that one in the line, in between the lines to Elise, Lerma. Caicedo tries to get a foot in there, but Palace keep the ball. Now Gay feeds that one down the Palace left to Ayew, Mitchell. Back with Andersen again. Palace defence just stroking it around here on the halfway line. Lerma comes in to lend a helping hand, but that's a wasted ball forward from the former Bournemouth man. Got his signals with Jean-Philippe Mateta mixed up. Mateta was jogging back to help out. Lerma thought he was making a run in behind. The result, Chelsea back in possession. Disasi into Maatsen. Gallagher drops back to cover at centre-back for Disasi as he makes his way back into position. Gallagher can step forward into midfield onto Caicedo. Gallagher again with the pinged ball downfield, looking for the run of Mudryk on the Chelsea left even, sorry. Dean Henderson gets there first. Chelsea have had the better chances, not just the Mudryk goal. Christopher Nkunku was a whisker away from his second Premier League goal and a first here at Stamford Bridge. I think we do have to give a bit of credit to Mark Gay getting back and giving him something to think about, but it was not the cleanest strike of Nkunku's career. I'm sure he'll get another opportunity this evening. Jackson's tracked there by Michael Elise. Elise did well to make sure he didn't get away. Palace will look to build out here. Lerma goes long over to the left hand side to Jordan Ayew. One-on-one now with Gusto, steps inside. Mitchell goes on the overlap, doesn't use him. Chelsea get numbers back eventually and win possession, and got an opportunity to break here. Over to the left to Nkunku. Options are limited in front of him, and the sting was just taken out of that a little bit. And Nkunku does win himself a free kick eventually. That was a really unnecessary challenge from Jefferson Lerma. The Palace number 8's frustrated with himself in the last few minutes. He's given the ball away, and now he's conceded a free kick in a promising position for Chelsea. Just left of centre, 30 yards from the Crystal Palace goal. And as the cliche goes, this would be a really bad time for Crystal Palace to concede. As Gallagher looks to curl this one in for the left hand side towards the far post, looking for Disasi. Eventually bundled behind. No corner though. Final touch does come off Disasi. Pochettino not happy with that one. He's barking instructions to his players. I think he expected better from a set piece opportunity. Chelsea quickly back into possession though. Palace really struggling to hold on to the ball in the last few minutes, and Chelsea have swarmed them in midfield. Conor Gallagher in particular has been a pest for his former team. Here's Caicedo, who looked to spring that one over to the far side down the Chelsea right for Gusto. Now Maatsen. Maatsen will try and control that bouncing ball forward and get away from Tyreek Mitchell, but he loses out. Gusto then backs him up, and Chelsea have the ball still. Nkunku works an angle over on the right hand side inside the Palace box. Can he find a cross in? Now Mudryk blocked by Anderson. Mudryk again crowded out by Richards. As Cole will forced away from goal. That was good work from Palace to make sure Mudryk couldn't get a shot away. Need to stay vigilant for the remaining 2 minutes of this first half, plus whatever extra is added on by Michael Salisbury and his officials. It's Caicedo just looking to get his head up and pick a pass forward. All 11 Palace players back behind the ball as it stands. Elise working hard down the Palace right, Chelsea left to try and make sure Colwell doesn't get away. Nicholas Jackson just ran out of options there as he found himself almost back on the halfway line. Played over to the right to Malo Gusto, now Caicedo. Chelsea comfortable, you'd imagine, just to see this final minute through. Not been overly tested by Palace so far. Yet to really see any clear opportunities for Elise, Mateta, Eze. Going in 1-0 down at half-time. Would not be a disaster for Roy Hodgson, you'd imagine. Going in at 2-0 down would be a completely different half-time team talk. Here's Maatsen looking to get Chelsea moving down the right, and he's caught on the ball and brings down Ayew. We're going to have a free kick to Palace just over the halfway line on the left. And a chance for the Eagles to make something before we head in for the break. Before we see this free kick, can update you that we are underway at Goodison Park. Everton against Manchester City, also available here on Flashscore UK. If you want to flick over to that one during half-time in this game. Eze looks to curl the free kick, headed away by Maatsen. Brought down eventually by Mark Gay. 2 minutes added on. Palace in possession here, deep inside the Chelsea half. Mitchell works it all the way back over to the left to Eberezi. Tries to get away from Mudryk, does well to find Mateta, but he loses out to Gusto. Another loose ball forward, and Richards just crunches in there on Ian Maatsen. Play on, says the referee. Ayew will look to cross in from the left, finds Elise. Elise with a chance, goal! Palace are level! From nowhere, Crystal Palace find themselves on level terms here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea had multiple opportunities to clear the box from that free kick. They didn't take it. Driven cross across the face of the goal by Jordan Ayew. One touch to control, one touch to finish from Michael Elise, and Crystal Palace are level. The Chelsea players are complaining to Michael Salisbury. They thought Chris Richards' tackle on Ian Maatsen was excessive. That was where the loose ball fell to Ayew on the left-hand side, and he just, almost like a golf shot, that cross, just drifted it over to the far post. Elise was away from Colwill, onto the chest, and then bang, bottom corner. Slightly against the run of play, but Palace find themselves level. Michael Salisbury says no case to answer for the Richards tackle on Maatsen, and we are back underway. A few seconds remaining in the first half, and we've got ourselves a very changed picture here at Stamford Bridge. Crystal Palace back in it. Roy Hodgson even allowing himself a little smile at that one. Third Premier League goal for Michael Elise. He's had his injury problems so far this season, but he's back in the team, scoring goals and scoring important goals. Scored that late equaliser at Manchester City a few weeks ago. And that is a very key goal for Palace. But they need to see it out now until the half-time interval. Foul on halfway on Christopher Nkunku. Gets away from Richards and he's bundled to the floor by the USA international. Chelsea get his back underway. Mitchell wins that one from Maatsen and wins a free kick. And you'd imagine that will be that. We've played an extra minute on top of the 2 added on. Palace fans in full voice after that goal. And that is it for the first half here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 1. Mikhailo Mudryk with the breakthrough for the Blues. And Michael Elise has Palace on level terms as the players head in for the break. We'll be back in 15 minutes here on Flashscore UK with all the second half action. But as it stands at half time, it is Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 1. putting Chelsea in front. Michael Elise hit back just before the break to make it 1-1. Crystal Palace, as you mentioned, do not have a great record here at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League, but they're looking to get forward here right from the off. Jean-Philippe Mateta almost gathering in that long ball forward from Joachim Andersen, but Chelsea get back en masse and win back possession. Eze catches Conor Gallagher in midfield. That's a free kick for Chelsea. 6 successive Premier League home wins for Chelsea over Palace, and Elise has become just the second current Palace player to even score a Premier League goal here for the Eagles, missing club captain Joel Ward being the other player. So plenty of potential for history breakers this evening for Palace. It's not just history that will be on the mind of Roy Hodgson. The present is also an issue. No Premier League win in 7 and just 1 in their last 11. He will want that to change. It's a nice win in midfield from Tyreek Mitchell. Feeds that onto Jean-Philippe Mateta. Eze crosses into the box. Spotted the run of Elise at the far post, but it was cut out by Levi Colwell. Eze will come again down the left. Stands up the cross, headed down and away by Maatsen. Coolly done by Chelsea there. Eze and Elise almost linking up twice in the space of 60 seconds, but Palace have a problem here. Andersen is down after that tangle. I think it was with Christopher Nkunku. He's in pain here, the Palace defender. Nkunku was trying to gather in that loose ball and he kind of levered himself underneath Andersen. It wasn't a foul, but it's painful landing for the Palace centre-back. And he will need a bit of attention here at the start of the second half. Crystal Palace fans in full voice here this evening, particularly after that equalising goal. How they would love to end that barren Premier League win with a victory here at the home of their local rivals. Alongside this game, we are also back underway on Flash Score UK at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Brentford 1, Wolves 3. It's been a thriller of a first half there, but it is goalless at Goodison. 23 minutes on the clock. Everton 0, Manchester City 0. Chelsea get back underway and Andersen is okay to continue. Malo Gusto just feeding that one in field to Conor Gallagher. Disasi back to Petrovic in the Chelsea goal. Gallagher will carry that forward for the home team. He's been heavily involved this evening, Conor Gallagher. Still fondly remembered by some sections of the Palace supporters, you'd imagine. He was such an important player for them on loan back in the 2021-22 season. 34 Premier League appearances, 8 goals. Reportedly opted against the permanent move to Selhurst Park, however. And now he is the armband wearer for Mauricio Pochettino's new Chelsea. The hosts just looking to ease themselves into this one at the start of the second half. Petrovic feeds that one directly to Disasi. Now Gusto, he loses out to Eberezi. Pressure will obviously be greater on Chelsea in the second half to find a second goal and continue that strong run of recent home form that they've had. But that will also play right into Roy Hodgson's hands. The pace and ruthlessness that he's got in his attack, he knows one chance could be enough to tip the balance. There's Badiashile. A nice ball into the feet of Jackson, but he runs straight into Anderson on halfway, and Palace will try and burst forward here. Mateta onto Elise. Tried to play the 1-2, but Disasi cuts it out in the Chelsea box. Now Mudryk, Jackson with a cute little flick there off to Mudryk, but he couldn't quite gather it in. And then Mark Gay gets there before Christopher Nkunku. Be interesting to see if Mauricio Pochettino gives Nkunku a full 90 this evening. This has been his first Premier League start for Chelsea. It's a cameo appearance off the bench against Wolves on Christmas Eve. Got his goal, of course, but he is short on match action. There's Gallagher just looking to take the sting out of the Palace press inside the centre circle. Back to Badiashile. Colwell. Mudryk in off the left, but he's trapped by Jefferson Lerma. Palace do well to work their way out of that one. Lerma just put a bit too much on that pass forward down the Palace right for Michael Elise. Both managers have sent out a few substitutes to warm up. Doesn't look to be any push for immediate changes, but options available. Jeff Schlupp, Will Hughes, Matthias Franke, just a couple of the options for Palace. We'll have a look at the Chelsea bench in just a moment, because Michael Elise is looking to get through here, and he's caught, and that'll be a booking, foul and a free kick, dead centre, 25 yards out. It was Axel Disasi with a foul on Elise. He was in full flight there, the Palace number 7, and my mistake, it was Caicedo. It was Disasi that was arguing with the referee. It was Caicedo with the foul. And Caicedo with the booking. Michael Salisbury's just had another quick word with Axel Disasi. He wasn't happy with Chelsea number 2's comments after that one, but it's free kick to Palace. I think Ebereze is going to look to cross this one. It's at a very unusual angle, so straight at Petrovic's goal. He might go for the shot. Eze just wide of the post. Hits the advertising board in front of the travelling Crystal Palace fans. Did have a go from a free kick right at the start of the first half, and he tried his luck again there. Never really troubling Petrovic. He was able to pull his arms in time to see that bounce behind for a goal kick. Just spinning back to some of the potential options for Chelsea. Noni Madueke, Amanda Broja, Romeo Lavio, of course, another summer signing who's been unable to feature due to injury. In fact, if he was to get on, it would be his Chelsea debut. Here come Palace. Lerma with the ball forward to Eze, but Eze just lost his footing there over on the Palace left, and Chelsea will look to rebuild. And there is word of a goal at Goodison. I'll give you an update on that in just a moment. Chelsea just with a little bit of calm possession here, just inside their own half. And the goal at Goodison has come for the home side. Jack Harrison has put the Toffees in front against the champions. Pep Guardiola's side back on domestic duty after claiming their world crown in Saudi Arabia, but it's not going to plan on Merseyside, as Mateta looks to get forward for Palace, goes on into the box, and that needed saving by Petrovic. Mateta tried to catch him out of the near post. He got down, the backup Chelsea stopper. Really good play from Jean-Philippe Mateta there. He was all on his own, and he had everything to do. Turned Badiashile on the halfway line and just went on and on and on. Saw a little gap, went for it, saved by Petrovic. Corner to Palace. Taken left-footed by Elise. Looking for Anderson, but that's headed behind by Malo Gusto. Be another corner to Palace. Over on the left-hand side this time. It'll be Eze to take this one. Looks to go for the driven one over to the far post, and it's kept alive by Elise. There's a header in there by Nicholas Jackson, but the second ball is won, and Mateta just over the bar for Palace. He was leaning back, he was at an awkward angle, Jean-Philippe Mateta, to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, because it came to him quickly and he tried to just hook it back across himself on the edge of the 6-yard box. Fell nicely for him. Good win from Chris Richards. He just couldn't get himself over the ball to keep it down and test Petrovic. But it has been Palace that have carried the greater threat so far in the second half. That'll be a foul for Chelsea. Ayew just slipped and pulled down Malo Gusto. Referee Michael Salisbury just signalling that he will let a couple of changes take place here. 57 minutes on the clock. 2 substitutions from Mauricio Pochettino. Thiago Silva replacing Levi Colwill. Imagine that will be a little positional tweak. We'll see who moves over to left back. Thiago Silva, you imagine, will go straight into the centre of the defence. And Ian Maatson has also been withdrawn. And it is Romeo Lavia on for his Premier League debut for Chelsea. Big money summer signing from Southampton, of course, alongside Moises Caicedo coming in from Brighton. We'll just keep an eye on that Chelsea formation change, or personnel change rather. See what Mauricio Pochettino is looking to do. But for now they do have a free kick. Axel Disasi taking his time over this one. Just pops that one back to Thiago Silva. Let's see him have an early touch. So I think it's going to be a back four. Axel Disasi at right back. Benoit Badiashile, Thiago Silva in the middle. Malo Gusto at left back. Romeo Lavia and Moises Caicedo in defensive midfield. Conor Gallagher's moved forward. And Christopher Nkunku has moved out to the right-hand side. Mudryk on the left and Nicholas Jackson through the middle. Michael Salisbury just having a quick word with Jefferson Lerma here. I think that was for 2 small fouls in quick succession. Still 3-1 at Brentford, by the way. Wolves 3, Brentford 1. Gary O'Neill's side, who were victorious against Chelsea on Christmas Eve, looking to maintain their festive momentum. Here's Lavia, first touch as a Chelsea player, intercepted by Richards. Falls kindly for Gallagher. He'll just ease that one on into the box towards Christopher Nkunku. An important touch from Dean Henderson. That cross was flying across the face of the goal. Henderson got a fingertip to it to make sure Nicholas Jackson couldn't get there. Palace will work it all the way back to their goalkeeper, and he'll hoof that one long. And Mateta's done well there to hassle Badiashile into a mistake. Can he find a ball across? He does. Eze, there's a 2-on-2 inside the box here, deflected. It falls for Petrovic. Jordan Ayew was signalling that he wanted the pass. Can't really blame Eber Eze for going for goal there. There was an angle, but there was an important block in the process. I think it was Moises Caicedo that got in position to take the sting out of that one. As we tick on to the hour mark. Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 1. Mudryk with the opener for Chelsea. Elise with the equaliser for Palace. No goals so far in the second period, however. Is Thiago Silva. Just to feed that one across the halfway line to Romeo Lavia. Number 45 for Chelsea. Gallagher looks to get forward now. He's going to be given a bit more of a licence to try and run at Richards and Lerma, with Lavia just anchoring things with Caicedo. Silva goes for the crossfield ball to Gusto, but that's cut out by Klein. Gusto now swapping flanks after that substitution. He does well there to win the second ball from Elise. Now Thiago Silva just tiptoeing into the Palace half. Disasi, that's a nice ball in behind, but not enough arc on it to find Nicholas Jackson. He timed his run well there, no offside flag. Dean Henderson was quick and alert. Good pressure there from Nkunku and Tyreek Mitchell as Palace look to go short from Dean Henderson. The visitors do well to keep the ball. Anderson will drift that one forward up to halfway to Mateta, who keeps hold of it. Now Eze. The flag is up for offside against Jean-Philippe Mateta. He did the hard work, but he did it all from an offside position. Here's Chelsea again. Lavia feeds it over to the left-hand side to Mudryk. Chelsea starting to see a bit more possession in the last few minutes. Lavia and Silva coming on and just giving a touch more control, particularly in the middle of the pitch. Here's Mudryk trying to burst through a couple of tackles. He does well. Stopped on the edge of the Palace box by Joachim Andersen. Palace again, turnover possession, and Chelsea will come again on halfway. Caicedo thought about the early ball into Mateta, but tried to find Gallagher, but he loses out to Richards. Caicedo mops up. There's Lavia again dropping deep, this time with Gallagher. Caicedo has edged himself into a slightly more advanced position. No Enzo Fernandez tonight, of course, who is probably the more natural of those four players to play in an advanced position. Christopher Nkunku starting there, but Enzo Fernandez has found himself as more of an attacking option since Mauricio Pochettino arrived this summer. Not expected to be too much of a lengthy absence for the Argentinian World Cup winner. Could be back in action for Chelsea's next game as they head to Luton on December 30th. Crystal Palace, incidentally, another London derby for them before the end of the year. They're also in action on December 30th, hosting Brentford. All of those games, plus the rest of the Premier League action before the end of 2023 and beyond, all available here on Flashscore UK. Lavia again looking to just keep things ticking over at the base of the Chelsea midfield, but it's all short square passes from Chelsea at the moment. Caicedo, Lavia, Gallagher, Silva, all heavily involved, and not a great deal of forward momentum, which is what Mauricio Pochettino wants. Switched over to the left now to Gusto. Thought about coming inside for the right footed cross, finds Caicedo, who bumps into Eze. Now Elise, and he's caught there as he tried to get away from Lavia. Very fortunate not to get a booking on his Chelsea Premier League debut. Slick little touch from Michael Elise to get away from him. Just dinked it away from the former Southampton man. He was saved by his newness on the pitch there. Just a stern word from the referee. It's going to be Anderson to go long with the free kick. Fires it all the way over to the near left-hand side. Ayew. He's been on the fringes of the action in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Jordan Ayew provided the assist for Michael Elise, of course, just before the break. Really important player for Palace, the experienced Ghanaian. Now here comes Chelsea again. Gallagher It's been at the centre of everything for Chelsea so far. Just pops that one to the right to Caicedo. Now Nkunku. Disasi forward from right back. Again, the Palace wall descends and blocks off Chelsea 5 yards from the 18-yard box. Caicedo looks to dart in field. Gallagher tries to find the feet of Mudryk, but that's well dealt with by Jefferson Lerma, who finds Ayew down the left. Mateta trying to curve his run to stay on side, but Ayew goes for a safe crossfield switch to Nathaniel Klein. It's a poor touch from Klein, and Mal Augusto will get there first, but Klein will battle away with him. Well done from Klein there, made sure there's no easy ball, but Chelsea do pick their way out of that one. Lavia. That's straight out of play from Romeo Lavia. Spotted the run of Gallagher. Trying to raid into that space vacated by Nathaniel Klein, but needed a bit more quality on the pass from Lavia. Chelsea fans getting a real glimpse of what the rest of their season could be in terms of personnel. Christopher Nkunku, Romeo Lavia, based on the money that was spent, you'd imagine, will be a key part of Mauricio Pochettino's plans. It's well held up by Jean-Philippe Mateta. Get a Palace advanced up the pitch. Is Eze darting through the middle onto Tyreek Mitchell on the left. Palace on into the Chelsea box, back with Mitchell. Thought about the cross. Plays it into Eze, holds it up in front of Conor Gallagher. Back with Jordan Ayew down the Palace left, dips inside, thought about the cross. Still got Mitchell outside of as an option, but the cross comes in. Hooked away by Lavia. Good play that from Jordan Ayew. Just couldn't quite get a clean cross into the box. And he couldn't quite find Tyreek Mitchell on the overlap either. Right idea in both situations. Execution just not quite matching up. Be interesting to see now what Roy Hodgson does in the final 20 minutes or so. I'd cautiously say a draw would not be a bad result for Roy Hodgson and Crystal Palace, based on that really negative run of form that we mentioned. Just one Premier League win in the last 11. But they've picked up a couple of important draws coming into this one. Manchester City, Brighton, albeit throwing away a lead at home to Brighton. But when you're struggling, any point is a valuable point. As Chelsea look to edge their way forward again. Caicedo into Gallagher, but he's hounded by Michael Elise there. Brilliant work from the Palace goalscorer Elise to win back possession for Palace. Now Lerma into the feet of Mateta on halfway. Switch forward by Eze to Jordan Ayew. Palace have got players advanced here. If Jordan Ayew can find a ball in from the left, just chops inside, tries to find it. Cute little ball around the corner for Eze, loses out, but Mitchell will help him. Back with Ayew here, will get another chance. It's forced back to Richards eventually. Now Gay, Klein. It's a heavy touch from Klein, and Mudryk will challenge him, but Klein wins it. Elise dips inside, Mateta. Palace winning a couple of really important 50-50s there to ensure Chelsea just didn't keep dominating possession. Lerma keeps it alive to find Richards. Now Tyreek Mitchell, who feed that one down the Palace left to Jordan Ayew, who curled it into the box right-footed. Just overhit for the run of Mateta. A goal kick to Chelsea. As Mikhailo Mudryk makes his way back to his feet. He was crunched into by Nathaniel Klein there. Good tackle from the experienced fullback, but it was a sore one for Mudryk. Not too dissimilar to Chris Richards on Ian Maatsen, which led to Palace's equaliser just before the break. We are going to have two more changes here from Mauricio Pochettino. Amanda Broja is on. Christopher Nkunku is off. That's his first Premier League start. Brought to a Premier League premature end. 20 minutes still to play. Mykhailo Mudryk also withdrawn. And it is Noni Madueke on for the host. Still no changes from Palace. And Mudryk is receiving a bit of treatment over on the far side. The substitution's been confirmed. He is off. And Chelsea have sent one of their physios round just to check on the Ukrainian international. Positive start to the game for him with the opening goal, but a slightly worrying end to the evening. Chelsea look to pop that one forward to Brozier to battle away with Mark Gay, but Gay comes out on top and crashes that clearance all the way back downfield, and Chelsea will start again. Badiashile over to the left hand side to Gusto, now Lavia. Gusto with a nice ball in field to Nicholas Jackson, who tried to just lift that one into Conor Gallagher on the edge of the box, but it was towed away by Ebrezi. Now Madueke down the Chelsea right. Gallagher looking to get a cross in. He's held up by Richards and Mitchell win, concede a throw. Gallagher wants to get things back underway quickly. Caicedo just loses out to Mateta there. Mateta's worked so hard for Palace in that lone frontman position. Hasn't got a goal just yet. Just that one chance at the start of the second half when he put over the crossbar, but he's certainly put the yards in, put the effort in for Palace this evening. And the Eagles have kept some valuable possession on the back of his graft. Michael Olise just shouting for options over on that far right side. Wanted Klein to get past him, but he'll go it alone. He's done well to bundle to the byline. Mateta almost found Lerma. Does find Lerma eventually as Lavia with the poor touch. Headed down by Madueke, but Palace just swarming Chelsea on the edge of the box here as Mitchell goes in on Madueke. Madueke wins that one. Chris Richards had a pull at Madueke, but Madueke gets away. Eventually brings him down on halfway. That's got to be a booking for Chris Richards. This will the referee with a little smile there. He had the red card in his hand by accident at first. We do get those moments of light-hearted comedy every now and again in Premier League football. The card was red for just a second for Chris Richards. Michael Salisbury knows that was a dictionary definition of a yellow card. Had a little pull at Madueke initially. Seemed that Madueke was going to get away and into the Crystal Palace half, but he clipped him eventually. No risks from the Palace defensive midfielder. There's a chance here for Chelsea. Jackson pulls it wide. An absolutely golden opportunity for Chelsea from the free kick. Crystal Palace was slow to reset. Anderson and Gay both out of position. Caicedo into Gallagher. Gallagher on into the box to Nicholas Jackson. Dean Henderson was smart off his line. But that is a chance that Nicholas Jackson should be scoring. 7 Premier League goals so far this season, 1 in his last 6. And that should have been number 8 for the campaign. What a chance for Chelsea's main man. And he knows it. Mauricio Pochettino certainly knows it. He's running his fingers through his hair in frustration. Jackson will be itching to get himself another opportunity after that. Chelsea will come forward again. Caicedo switches it over to the left to Malo Gusto. Dips inside Olise, tries the cross. Deflected away by Lerma. And as far as Caicedo will help that on down the right for Disasi. Dig that one over to the far post. Olise helps it on. And that'll be a throw in to Chelsea. 15 minutes to go here at Stamford Bridge. Delicately poised. Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 1. Chelsea normally so dominant in these games. Palace have lost their last 11 consecutive Premier League matches against Chelsea. And the Blues have won their last 6 here at Stamford Bridge. A small slice of history on offer for Palace if they can hold on or potentially find a winner. Is Disasi right on the edge of the Crystal Palace box. Now Gallagher. Fed across to Lavia. Back with Silva. Everybody minus Petrovic is in there. Crystal Palace half, and has fed on towards the far post to Jackson. He's poked home. From villain to hero in the space of 2 minutes, Nicholas Jackson has Chelsea back in front. The Crystal Palace players just looked to stop for a moment there as the cross came in. Jackson got himself away from Nathaniel Klein at the far post and pokes it home. The Palace players are asking for a check here. Jacob Anderson is leading the demands. A slow build-up from Chelsea. That was a really good cross in the box from Thiago Silva. Now, as the ball comes in, Jackson does get away from Klein. Is he in an offside position when the cross is delivered? It is a very close call. It's a smart finish from Jackson. Let it come across his body and then just steered it home right-footed into the bottom corner. But Klein and Anderson are asking the question of offside. VAR are taking a look at this. And to the naked eye, it does look as if Nicholas Jackson is just offside, but it will be checked. It will be checked by VAR. This is the first involvement of VAR this evening. Chris Kavanagh, Natalie Aspinall on duty. And it is a close call. My first impression is that Nicholas Jackson is just offside. But as we've seen so far this season with VAR, what appears to be one thing is not always the decision that is given. All eyes on Michael Salisbury. And the goal has been ruled out. Nicholas Jackson frustrated once again. And he is offside. Lines have been drawn. Just advanced of Nathaniel Klein as the ball came in. Let off for Crystal Palace. For Nicholas Jackson, another chance does not result in a goal. Half time at Goodison Park. Everton 1, Manchester City 0. Could be the potential for a shock for the Toffees. Jack Harrison's early goal giving them the lead. And Roy Hodgson is going to take advantage of this little stoppage after the disallowed goal to make his first change of the night. Jordan Ayew is withdrawn after a long shift. And it's Jeffrey Schlupp who is on. Straight swap that for Crystal Palace. Schlupp will go in on the left-hand side of the front three. Or front four, I should say, with Mateta as a lone striker. As Petrovic gets there just before the chasing down Eze to make a clearance for Chelsea. Bit of pushing and shoving here. Madueke and Mitchell. Madueke claiming that Mitchell was a little bit too rough with him. Ray Lewington, the Palace assistant, will play peacemaker here. But I think there's going to be a booking for both players. Michael Salisbury not happy with the level of aggression shown. So it's a card for Mitchell and a card for Madueke. And that all came from Mitchell being unhappy with Madueke kicking the ball away. The pushing and shoving that ensued means a yellow card for both players. Back underway. Madueke steams in on Mitchell there as play gets back underway, but it's a fair challenge this time. Ambrosia looking to try and advance down the Chelsea right. He's eventually hassled out of play by Chris Richards. So we tick over the 80-minute mark. Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 1. As it stands, 3 draws in a row for Crystal Palace, but just 1 Premier League win in 11. And it would stop Chelsea's winning home streak at 2 games. Here's Jeffrey Schlupp looking to advance down the left. Feeds it onto Elise. Blocked off by Malo Gusto. Saved by Petrovic. Elise at the second attempt there just lashed out one of the bottom corner, but Petrovic got down. Strong hand to put it round the post. There's an error from Thiago Silva initially that let Schlupp in behind, and he fed it across the box to Elise on the Palace right. That was a good save from Petrovic in the Chelsea goal. Serbian international, proving to be a solid custodian in the absence of Robert Sanchez. And that Palace corner is cleared, but played back straight to Elise on the Palace right. Headed away by Silva. Jackson dropping deep to win the ball. Gusto blocked off by Nathaniel Klein. Roy Hodgson might be looking at a few more changes before the final whistle as he looks to break the game up just a little bit. That's not to dismiss the chance of a Palace winner, though. That opportunity for Elise, the effort over the bar from Mateta. Both examples of the threat that Palace do have, but it's Nicholas Jackson that's wasted the best chance of the second half. And then, of course, the VAR offside goal for him as well. That's played forward for Brozier. Fired into the side netting by the Chelsea number 19. Great technique. Silva with a long raking pass forward, spotted the run of Brozier. Got in the space between Anderson and Klein. Let it come over his shoulder. Nice first touch. Second touch off the left foot. Flashes wide of Dean Henderson's post. Seven minutes of normal time remaining here. Will there be one final twist? As Elise looking to chase down Gusto. Lerma will head that forward in the direction of Elise, but Caicedo will win it. That's a free kick to the Blues. Lerma coming through the back of Conor Gallagher. But again, still too passive, too pedestrian from Chelsea in the midfield. Caicedo, Lavia, Gallagher, not really able to find that little spark that Chelsea have needed. Palace happy to let the home side have possession in their own half. They'll press when they need to press. Jackson's done well here to foray deep and get Chelsea breaking into the Crystal Palace half. Feeds it over to Brozier on the left, but he's again forced backwards, fed back into Brozier. Anderson will deal with that one. Chelsea fans behind the goal were shouting for handball against Joachim Anderson there. I don't think did come off the Dane's hand. Ball was bouncing around awkwardly as he tried to shepherd Brozier away. Concedes the corner. Don't think that was a handball. Anderson doing his best to keep his arms by his side and just hoof that behind for the corner, which he does. Gallagher will take. Right-footed from the left-hand side. Gallagher curled into the middle of the box, headed away by Richards, then Anderson. Really important header there from Anderson. And Eze wins it on the edge of the box, and Palace can break here. They've got a 4-on-2 if they can pick the right pass. Schlupp onto Ebereze. Eze down the left. Can he find an option on the overlap? Eze passed. Oh, and he's crowded out eventually. Malo Gusto with the tackle. Eze got past Gusto initially, and then Gusto got back to make the tackle. The Palace players not happy with Ebereze, and not for the first time this evening. They felt he picked the wrong option. Those Palace players streaming forward there, and they've got another chance here. Chelsea want the ball kicked out of play for an injury to Madueke, but visitors have played on. As Elise drops the shoulder down the right, curls that one deep in towards the far post to Schlupp, and that'll be a corner to Palace. Malo Gusto gets back, wins the header. Palace have the set piece. Madueke claiming that he was fouled from the previous corner. Eze does catch him on the edge of the box. He's asking the referee to check. Not sure that will be looked at. The referee just taking his time for a moment. And the word has come into his ear to go and have a look at this one. Ebereze does catch Noni Madueke just inside the Crystal Palace box as that corner was cleared by Jacob Anderson. The decision now for Michael Salisbury: does it constitute a penalty? No doubt the foul, or the challenge I should say, was inside the box, and Eze does catch him as he tries to twist away and break for Palace. My instinct here is that this is going to be a penalty for Chelsea. Quickly before this decision is made, could bring you news of a fourth goal for Wolves away at Brentford. Wolves running riot at the G-Tech. Jean Richner Bellegarde with goal number 4 for the visitors, and it is a penalty here at Stamford Bridge. Michael Salisbury satisfied that there was enough contact to make that a penalty. And we have ourselves a crunch moment here. 88 minutes on the clock. And Chelsea have a penalty. Could all come down to this. No Enzo Fernandez this evening for Chelsea. There's a little bit of a conversation taking place between both the Palace players with Dean Henderson and the Chelsea players with Nicholas Jackson, who I think is going to be given responsibility for this one. Seen a few replays of that Eze challenge on Noni Madueke, and it does seem to be fairly conclusive that he catches him and commits the foul. And the penalty responsibility is going to be given to Noni Madueke. The player fouled will be the player to take the spot kick. Yet to score a Premier League goal for Chelsea so far this season. Just one in the 2022-23 campaign. And the England under-21 international find the back of the net. Madueke against Henderson. Goal for Madueke. 2-1 to Chelsea. Waits for Henderson to make the dive to the left and just rolls it into the opposite corner. And Chelsea, with 1 minute of normal time remaining, are on course for a 7th successive Premier League home win against Crystal Palace. A huge blow for Roy Hodgson. Calmly done by Noni Madueke. Waited for Henderson to make his decision, and then just stroked it into the opposite corner. And the big question now will be, is there enough time remaining for Palace to counter? Just a few seconds until the end of the 90. Go up in just a moment. Chelsea just looking to chase down Dean Henderson as he lashes that one downfield. We're going to have 8 minutes added on. 30 seconds gone from that first minute. 8 minutes for Chelsea to hold on and claim a third successive home Premier League win. Still time for Palace to potentially find something here. And a change for Palace on the back of that goal also. Matthias Franke on for Palace. Jefferson Lerma withdrawn by Roy Hodgson, but that's played forward in the direction of Brozier, and it's a handball by Brozier. Be a free kick on the edge of the Palace box. Albanian international claiming it was accidental. I think it was, but handball nonetheless. We're also going to have the fifth and final change for Chelsea. 6 minutes of added time still to play, of course. It's a defensive swap by Mauricio Pochettino. Badiashile withdrawn. And it is Alfie Gilchrist, Chelsea Academy prospect, who's brought on. He'll get a couple of minutes under his belt. Premier League debut for him this evening. Chelsea players celebrating a free kick there as if it was a third goal. Gilchrist was involved there as he got back in to help out Disasi. Mateta just pushes Disasi to the floor, and that'll be a free kick to Chelsea. Deep in their own right back position. Petrovic will take his time over this one. Crystal Palace fans, hands in their heads in the away section of Stamford Bridge. They knew they were close to ending that losing run here at Stamford Bridge. It's been such a frustrating short trip for the Eagles fans down the years. And that long wait for a Premier League win at the moment also continues. Stays as it is, it will be 8 Premier League games without a win. Roy Hodgson, despite claiming that he is not concerned by the pressure, could find himself facing a tough few weeks. Well, Palace have still got a chance, and here's Elise. Just steps in from the right hand side, flicked on by Eze. Now Elise with a shot, gathered in by Darda Petrovic in the Chelsea goal. Good link up there between Elise and Eze. Just a little bit too close to Petrovic. It was a fairly routine catch for him in the end. 4 minutes remaining for Palace to potentially find something. Anderson goes long up to Mateta, who'll battle away again with Disasi and wins the throw. Deep in the Chelsea half, down the left-hand side. Mitchell will come forward to take this. Michael Salisbury's come over to have a word, and a yellow card from Mauricio Pochettino. Unhappy with Pochettino's antics in the last few moments, some of his protestations. And that is a booking by the Chelsea manager. The home fans will be hoping manager and players alike can just keep their head for the next few moments. Conor Gallagher has also gone into the book. He was unhappy with his manager getting a card, ran over to defend him, and picks up a booking himself. So could be a tight final few minutes. Is Mitchell looking to ease that one into the box? for the run of Franke. It drifts behind. An opportunity there for Palace to break in and make something happen, but Matthias Franke just couldn't get a touch on the ball. We tick towards the final seconds here at Stamford Bridge. 2 minutes of added time still to play. Back underway at Goodison Park. Still 1-0 to Everton against Manchester City. What an enormous win for Sean Dyche that would be if Everton could hold on. It's good battle in there from Schlupp with Conor Gallagher, but Gallagher eventually wins out. Brozier will dash back and help. Clears it downfield. Madueke gets there before Joachim Andersen, and there's a chance here for Jackson inside the box. Loses his foot in, he has to go backwards to Madueke. And the offside flag is up. Last chance saloon here for Crystal Palace. Just over 60 seconds of the additional 8 minutes still to play. There's a away start from Chelsea. If Nicholas Jackson couldn't get a shot on goal, the least he could do could hold on to possession, but he's given it away. Palace will come forward here through Elise. Switches it over to the left to Franke. Franke will cut inside on his right foot, try and get a shot. Headed away by Thiago Silva. Richards will keep it alive. Elise forced back to Andersen. Andersen will up it back out to Elise on the Palace right. Look to dip inside, curls that one in towards Mitchell. Just a little bit too much on it. Goal kick to Chelsea. Seconds ticking away here for Palace. Mauricio Pochettino not taking that booking all too seriously. He's back on his feet, driving his players on for this final few seconds. Petrovic goes long with the goal kick, won by Brozier, then by Gallagher. Gallagher does well to burst through a couple of tackles there, and he gets away from Andersen. Head down time here, running for the corner flag by Conor Gallagher. Be tracked all the way by Tyreek Mitchell though. And he wins the corner. Chelsea fans showing their appreciation for their captain there. Did exactly what he needed to. And this will eat up more time. We're over the 8 minutes added on. Chelsea will keep this in the corner, and you'd imagine that will be that. Gallagher just rolls his studs over it. Brozier will protect it. Another throw in for Chelsea. And there's no time for the throw-in. That is full time here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 2, Crystal Palace 1. The Eagles' miserable record here at Stamford Bridge continues, and it is 3 home Premier Leagues on the bounce for Mauricio Pochettino's side. But for Roy Hodgson and Crystal Palace, it is 8 Premier League games with no wins on the board. And the veteran manager could find himself under major pressure at the start of 2024. That's all from tonight here at Stamford Bridge from Flashscore UK. Everton against Manchester City is still continuing, and I can tell you that Manchester City have equalised at Goodison. Still 4-1 to Wolves away at Brentford. That game should be concluded in the next few moments. Thanks so much for listening as always, and we will catch you very, very soon here on Flashscore UK.